What's going on, guys? It's your boy J2A TV, and I'm back yet again with another banger. Welcome back to the channel. So I really hope you guys liked the Riz video that I did. It was a bit longer than normal, but we're gonna get over into some DBZ stuff before the next episodes of the Riz series that I have come out. I figured you guys wouldn't want to see like back to back to back of the same content, so I figured I'd throw a couple videos in between just to kind of switch it up. Yeah, I be thinking about y'all. What we're going to be getting into today is debate within the DBZ community that's kind of been going on for a long time. Some people say that it's been decided, but it only takes one quick Reddit check or to go on Twitter to see that people are still debating and going on and back and forth about this. We're going to be hopefully answering the question to, did Vegeta obtain Super Saiyan 2 before Babidi's magic, or did he need the Majin transformation to obtain Super Saiyan 2 level strength? With that being said, guys, again, almost 90-something% of y'all that watch my videos are not subscribed. Thank you guys so much for 1K. Our next goal is 5K. We're trying to get there before the end of the year. I think we can get it done. So if you could just drop a quick subscription and a like on the video, it really helps for the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate it. Love y'all. And just for reference, guys, we're going to be primarily using the dialogue in the manga versus the anime, just because the manga is more close to the original source material and Akira Toriyama's vision for what he wanted the series to be. The anime just has so many different dubs and translations and voice actors, and it just gets a little messy and things get lost in translation. So why not go to the original source material, you feel me? So where I think we should start is Strongest in the Heavens, chapter 232 of the manga. That would be in volume 20. Goku comes back from the dead, and the rest of the gang decide to join the 25th Budokai at the beginning of the Buu Saga. Gohan makes a point to say that he's also going to be fighting in the tournament, and if you previously remember, if we go back to the Cell Saga, which is the very last thing that we see previous to the very first section of the Buu Saga, is that Gohan was in fact the strongest member of the Z Squad. He fought Cell, defeated him, and he was the first person to reach Super Saiyan 2 level strength. So in the conversation, Gohan's talking to Bulma, and he's saying, he's going to be fighting the tournament, and it's not going to be much of a challenge. To which Vegeta then comes up and says that, he's joined as well, and he says as a quote, "Once you were more powerful than me, but how about now? I kept up working on my training while you were just kind of at peace, going to school and doing what your mom basically wanted you to do." Now, this is really important because this is concrete dialogue evidence that Vegeta kept working on his training after the Cell Saga. So I believe there was 7 years in between the very end of the Cell Saga and the beginning of the Buu Saga. That's a good amount of training, especially at the level that Vegeta puts in work. You can tell that he's probably packing on the muscle, you feel me? But that alone doesn't really explain whether he was Super Saiyan 2 or not. It's just a good little starting piece of evidence. But let's keep going. So we're gonna skip a little bit and go to manga chapter 250. That would be volume 21 in the manga. So after getting egged on by Kibito Kai, Gohan decides to power up during the tournament, during their match, and level up to his Super Saiyan 2 level strength. Now, obviously at this time, Gohan hasn't been training, so his Super Saiyan 2 level that he goes at that very moment is a lot weaker than it was when he fought Cell. So the important thing to look at here is how Vegeta kind of reacts to this transformation. In both the manga and in the anime, Vegeta kind of doesn't care. He kind of blows off Gohan's strength and just is unfazed by the transformation, is not impressed at all whatsoever. He actually goes on to specifically say, and I quote, he was better, referring to Gohan, when he fought Cell. Now again, still doesn't prove whether Vegeta can go Super Saiyan 2 level himself, or whether he was just commenting on Gohan's strength relative to Gohan's strength previously, but it does show that Vegeta was completely unfazed by Gohan's transformation and essentially again was unimpressed. Whereas before, if you go back and look at the Cell Saga, everyone was shell-shocked and in awe. Vegeta was trembling in his boots like he was when he fought Broly when Gohan made that transformation previously. So, could be, again, another indicator that the gap between them has shortened a lot. So continuing on to manga chapter 256, or volume 22 in the manga. This is where all of the Super Saiyans, so Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku, end up fighting Babidi's monsters. Now, Supreme Kai was all shook when Babidi said that he was going to transport them to fight his monsters, because a long time ago, I guess the monsters were, top of cream of the crop. You also get one of my favorite all-time scenes where Vegeta absolutely violates the monster that he fought. Can't remember the dude's name. You can drop it in the comments to remind me if you can, but he puts his hands up on the dude and just blasts him to bits. Babidi transports him and Vegeta to his planet, and I guess it's 5 times or 10 times gravity on his planet or something like that. And Vegeta Savage is like, I don't even feel it.
If this was 500 times gravity, you might have an advantage. But 10, I don't even feel it.
That was so fire to me. and then just blast into bits. That was a really dope scene. Probably one of my all-time favorites. I might make a video specifically just on that alone, but I'm getting sidetracked. So yeah, Vegeta, Gohan, and Goku end up going to fight Babidi's monsters. So the important thing to look at here is the dialogue between Goku, Vegeta, and Supreme Kai. So in this section, Vegeta makes a comment while talking to Supreme Kai, basically saying that he doesn't think that Boo's really going to be anything, and just like how Dabra wasn't anything, and he wasn't impressed by Dabra's strength. This, of course, comes after Supreme Kai was, scared of Boo and scared of the monsters. Vegeta's putting 2 and 2 together like, oh, if he was scared about these guys, then Boo probably isn't anything either. Not knowing that there's a huge gap between the two, but that's neither here nor there. So just for reference, Dabra is Deborah, but the names got kind of mixed up in the dub, but I'm just going to use that just because it's easier to say. So Supreme Kai's shook by this, and he wants Vegeta to explain himself, basically why he's saying that Dabra wasn't anything. Goku and Vegeta essentially confirmed to Supreme Kai that Dabra really wasn't all that, and they could have easily defeated him outside if they would have just avoided his saliva. A connecting piece of information that's important is Goku goes on to say that, yes, a little bit ago, if they would have fought Dabra, he would have been an issue, but at the current state that they were in, Dabra really would have been no issue whatsoever. He goes on to say that there was a guy named Cell that they had fought a couple years prior that gave them a lot of trouble, but wouldn't be an issue now, therefore confirming that Dabra was about on the same level as Cell. And as we know, it took around a Super Saiyan 2 level strength Gohan to be able to defeat Cell. Now, something that I'm going to continue to bring up throughout the video that I think is super important is the fact that, okay, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan mopped Cell, right? But when Cell died and came back with the power boost that he had, he was essentially as strong as, if not slightly either stronger or weaker, it's up for debate on which side of the spectrum it was, than a Super Saiyan 2 level Gohan at the time. So it kind of gets, the debate arises where you could argue that, okay, maybe Dabra was the strength as Perfect Cell and not the boosted Perfect Cell. You know what I'm saying? Like, essentially, we don't know that whether Gohan Super Saiyan 2 back then was just so much stronger than Cell, and then Goku and them are comparing that level Cell to Dabra, or if they're saying that maximum strength Cell was on the same level as Dabra. So it gets a little confusing. But with that being said, we still don't have concrete evidence of whether or not Vegeta was able to go Super Saiyan 2 prior to the Majin transformation. So we're gonna look at some more manga dialogue and dissect that. Stay with me. We got a lot more information coming, so just lock in real quick. So next, we got to look at chapter 257 in the manga. So we're gonna come to one of my other favorite fights, is Goku versus Yakon. So as we come to learn, Yakon absorbs ki, and it essentially powers him up and makes him stronger. Goku powers up, kind of has a Super Saiyan aura, and it gets devoured by Yakon, as we see, and yeah, again, makes him stronger, gives him a power boost, and it also takes away from Goku. You can picture it as like a Android 19 style attack. So Goku, obviously with his ingenious fighting ingenuity, he decides like, hey, if he likes to absorb stuff, let me have him bite off more than he can chew. Whoa. Anyways, so yeah, Goku realized that Super Saiyan 1 isn't going to be enough, so he decides to crank things up and basically blast his biggest ki charge that he can, and Yakon is unable to absorb it and he blows up. So the important thing to look at after this interaction between Yakon and Goku is Vegeta's reaction to himself. As a quote, he essentially says, so Kakarot was able to surpass the level of Super Saiyan as well, or the Super Saiyan wall as well. The key thing being here, he says as well. Again, people debate whether it's Vegeta referring to Gohan, like saying as well, like he's the second one to do it, or if he's including himself in that, like, oh, I can do it, and referring to Goku as well. Now, I'm gonna make my case for why he wasn't referring to Gohan in this sense by looking at volume 22 in the manga. Again, chapter 256, we have Goku asking Gohan if he kept up with his training, and Vegeta says that, again, Gohan used peace as an excuse to slack off, and that both himself and Goku are now stronger than him. Now, again, when we look back to the tournament when Gohan powered up versus Kibito Kai, we see that he was still able to go Super Saiyan 2 at that time. Now, the debate, again, becomes Gohan, of course, was a weaker version of Super Saiyan 2 when he did that power-up then, and just in what he was able to accomplish in general because he had been slacking off. So we don't know specifically whether Vegeta was at the same level as Gohan was in terms of Super Saiyan 2 level strength, because, again, Gohan was stronger back when he fought Cell, but the question still remains whether he was able to go Super Saiyan 2 at all, whether it was a weaker version, the same strength, or stronger than Gohan back then. He confirms and says that he's stronger than him at the current state, but I mean, I guess that's neither here nor there whether he was able to make the transformation at all, but I just think that that's an interesting thing to point out. Another thing to look at is during the Deborah fight when Gohan is fighting him, Vegeta's getting annoyed while watching the fight, essentially saying that we should have just got this over with. Like, of course, Vegeta was a bit angsty because he wanted to just get all the nonsense over with so he could fight Goku, as that was his primary goal or mission in life, always, but at that time specifically. But he's kind of getting annoyed that, like, hey, you know, this dude's weak and is at the same level as Cell, and I've surpassed that level of strength. Why is Gohan struggling with him to finish him off? So again, when looking back to old Cell, we know that at minimum a Super Saiyan 2 level transformation is required to beat Cell. So again, Vegeta is confirming in himself, in his actions, his dialogue, and his reactions that he in fact is stronger than Gohan at the time, who was at the same level as Deborah, which was at the same level as Cell, which needed a Super Saiyan 2 level transformation. Therefore, you can make the connection that Vegeta was able to go Super Saiyan 2 level at some capacity during that time. I've kind of been going like back and forth and making a lot of connections, but hopefully you guys are following so far. All right, so now let's specifically address the other side of the argument where people think that Vegeta was only able to make that transformation because of the Majin power boost. So again, like I just said, boost. What all Babidi's magic did for Vegeta was give him a power boost. It didn't allow him to go Super Saiyan 2, it just made him a higher tier, a higher grade of Super Saiyan 2. Of course, we know at the time that Goku was able to transform into a Super Saiyan 3, he was just keeping the power suppressed. Therefore, his Super Saiyan 2 level grade strength would be much higher than that of Gohan when he fought Cell or anyone else, essentially. Like, he has more in the reserves, and we see that when he fought Yakon. He ascended to a higher level, boosted out more power, and that, you know, it piqued Vegeta's interest and he was a bit surprised. So therefore, Vegeta knew, hey, I have Super Saiyan 2 level strength, but the tier that he has is a bit stronger. So he knew that he was gonna need a little bit extra strength as he was obsessed with fighting Goku and finally defeating him and kind of returning some of the evil to his heart at the same time, that, hey, I'm gonna need a little bit of a power boost. So for some evidence, going back to the manga, let's look at chapter 265. During Goku and Vegeta's fight, again, one of the most dope fights in the whole series. I gotta make a video about this too. But looking specifically at Goku's dialogue, Goku says, "Unbelievable. I thought I trained so hard in the afterlife, but we're dead even. You must have trained harder than I did." To which Vegeta directly responds and says, "No, I thought I did, but you're more gifted than me. I could never make up the difference between us. I finally saw this when you fought Babidi's monster. It was a huge blow," like referring to his pride. "That's why I made up my mind." And of course, he's referencing made up my mind to have Babidi's magic overtake him so that he could become Majin and get the power boost. Now, separately from the argument that we've been talking about, this is really super interesting as part of Vegeta's character, because Vegeta's and Saiyans in general don't like accepting help from anyone. And so that just shows how obsessed Vegeta was with fighting Goku, that he was willing to take outside help to get a power boost to be able to finally be strong enough to face Goku. So Vegeta goes on to say that at the tournament, the guys who got controlled by Babidi's monsters, they had essentially gotten stronger in such a short period of time, and he thought that maybe allowing Babidi to do the same thing to him would close the difference between them. So again, the point of the Majin transformation was to give Vegeta a power boost on top of his already Super Saiyan 2 level strength, which was lower than that of the natural talent and skill of Goku's Super Saiyan 2 level strength, if that makes sense. So another supporting piece of evidence for this is when you look at chapter 317 or volume 26 in the manga, when the final battle is happening between Goku, Vegeta, and Buu. Vegeta, without the Majin power-up or transformation, whatever you want to call it, goes Super Saiyan 2 versus Kid Buu. Now again, using the manga because it's more closely related to the original source material, and also it's just easier to see what transformation people are in. They stay a lot more consistent with, you know, having the electricity around people that are in Super Saiyan 2 and 3 versus Super Saiyan 1. The hair gets a little bit more spiky and it just looks different. The anime, you know, there's just so much going on with it and it's a lot harder to do that is just super inconsistent. And a lot of people only use the anime to make their opinions about things, and that's where it gets messy. But yeah, during this part in the chapter, Goku needs to have some time to charge up so that he can return to his Super Saiyan 3 level transformation. And Vegeta's like, hey, I'll buy you some time. He immediately goes to Super Saiyan 2 for Kid Buu, obviously, as there's no shot that he would be able to keep up in any way, shape, or form in any other lower grade of Super Saiyan 1 versus Kid Buu. Like, he had to go straight to 2. And naturally, that was his strongest transformation at the time. Now, interesting point, Vegeta was stronger when he fought Goku in his Majin transformation than when he fought Kid Buu. So yeah, we talked about a lot, guys, but to summarize, Vegeta essentially only used Babidi's magic, Majin transformation as a power boost on top of his already Super Saiyan 2 level strength. And you can see that based off of all the things that we looked at in terms of dialogue, using the original source material from the manga. People, of course, are still going to debate this always, and it'll probably stand the test of time. But hey, that's just my opinion. So to definitively say, yes, Vegeta did have Super Saiyan 2 level strength at the beginning and throughout the Buu Saga, and he did not need Babidi's magic to reach Super Saiyan 2 level strength. However, he did need it to reach the Super Saiyan 2 level strength that Goku had in order to fight him. Anyways, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, for the YouTube algorithm, if you could please drop a quick subscription and a like on the video, I would greatly appreciate it. We got to 1K, really happy about that, but we're gonna keep it rocking out and try and get to 5K by the end of the year. I think we can do it. I have some more videos coming up in the coming weeks in the Avatar Riz series, so you guys can look forward to that. Again, if there's anything else that you guys want to see me talk about, dissect, analyze, whatever, any other series, any other anime, whatever, could be another TV series. It doesn't even have to be anime. Drop it in the comments below. I read and respond to every single comment, so don't think that I won't see it. I appreciate the love, guys. Until next time, J2A TV out of here. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Too many times I feel like I'm out of love. Is you really rocking with me or was you a dub? I ain't playing with you, don't you treat me like a scrub. You could be my queen if you will.